Cue the intro.
The intro. I should be ready for that. Καλώς βρήκαμε. Wow, we've got a great show for you guys today, and it's a very special show because it's
Greek Independence Day.
Yay!
It was on Friday.
Well, it was on Friday, but
we were celebrating.
We were celebrating, and we got a great show. I mean, we got wonderful guests lined up. We've got music lined up. We've got all kinds of fun stuff lined up for you today, including some food. And I got to tell you, our regular guest, George Samrovalakis, who's been helping with the show right from its inception, has been cooking up a storm.
Yes, it smells so good.
Just amazing. So he's here visiting, and so we're gonna start off with maybe a little video, and it's a 1-minute video from Patra. So those of you that are from Patra, hey.
Hello everyone, we are currently in Agios Andreas Church in Patras, and we are celebrating the National Independence Day of Greece.
Σήμερα γιορτάζουμε την απελευθέρωση της χώρας μας από τους Οθωμανούς Τούρκους και τιμάμε τους ήρωές μας που μας χάρισαν την ελευθερία μας. Παράλληλα γιορτάζουμε τον Ευαγγελισμό του Θεοτόκου, μία από τις μεγαλύτερες γιορτές του χριστιανισμού μας.
Military and school parades take place all over Greece, and afterwards family members gather together to eat the traditional food bacalharo with skordalia. We are wishing all the best for the Greek community, and we hope you'll raise a lot of money because in times like this it's very important to keep the Greek spirit alive in all parts of the world. Χρόνια πολλά! Greetings from Greece.
Wow. I got to hand it to you, Despina and Olga. Your Greek is really good, especially
why.
you, Olga. Oh my God. And we're supporting a Greek school here. So it's kind of fun to listen to
some real good
Greek.
Yeah.
So a couple of things to keep an eye on for the show. If you're in the chats or anything like that, you'll see this barcode that's right above my lovely co-host's head.
We don't know how to.
Right
okay,
there.
There we go.
That
Right
barcode's really simple. If you take your camera and you zoom, I wonder if I can even do it from here. Just kind of, my camera likes you too much. My camera likes you better than the barcode. You have become a diva.
I have become one.
Oh my God. And yeah, there it is. Wow.
Perfect.
So even from here, that barcode will take you to a PayPal.
So if you're watching on your computer, go ahead and whip your phone out and go on the camera and donate.
And you can also see in the links that there's in the comments and in the descriptions on Cooking with Greek People, on St. Basil's, and on the St. Basil's Greek Festival. You'll see all of that. And there's a couple of different ways that you guys can donate, and you'll see it throughout the show. And I'll leave the barcode up just a couple of more minutes here. But we're so excited to have you joining us. This is the St. Basil's Greek Orthodox Church, has a Greek school program that it's had right from its inception. And we've been so pleased to have the different kids kind of come through it. And, it's been a lot of fun to watch kids grow with this program. So I'm going to play while we're waiting for our guests to arrive. And hey, Charlie, I see you out there. Charlie,
yeah.
Hi, Charlie. I see you. We'll wait for Vlas but for everyone, but we'll take another minute on just to kind of show you. Now, this is just a 1-minute video, and it's showcasing.
Γεια σας. Είμαι από το σχολείο του Αγίου Βασιλείου στον San Juan Capistrano της Καλιφόρνιας. Με λένε Ελένη και είμαι περήφανη που είμαι Ελληνίδα γιατί αγαπώ το ελληνικό πολιτισμό και αγαπώ τους Έλληνες για την καλοσύνη και γενναιοδωρία τους.
Γεια σας, με λένε Tzoytzoyrakos και είμαι περήφανος που είμαι Έλληνας γιατί στην Ελλάδα γεννήθηκε η δημοκρατία, το θέατρο, τα μαθηματικά και πολλές άλλες επιστήμες. Επίσης, οι Έλληνες είναι πολύ γενναίος λαός.
Γεια σου, με λένε Κέτι Μόσλι. Είμαι περήφανη που είμαι Ελληνίδα, γιατί μου αγαπώ την ελληνική γλώσσα.
Ονομάζομαι Χαράλαμπος Τρίκας και είμαι περήφανος που είμαι Έλληνας, γιατί οι Έλληνες είναι γενναίοι και δείχνουν αλληλεγγύη για τους άλλους.
Γεια σας, με λένε Μόδεστος Κανιδέρης και είμαι πολύ περήφανος για τον ελληνικό πολιτισμό μου, γιατί είναι πάρα πολύ πλούσιος. Η πίστη που έμεινε με τους Έλληνες για την χριστιανοσύνη, για τον πολιτισμό τους παρά τα 400 χρόνια σκλαβιάς, με εμπνέει να μαθαίνω περισσότερο για την πατρίδα μου. Είμαι ευλογημένος που είμαι μέρος ενός τόσο σημαντικού και πλούσιου πολιτισμού.
Με λένε Νίκος Γκάλενς και σας χαριτούμε από την Καλιφόρνια.
Wow, you got me drinking my Greek coffee here. That's just amazing. We're so proud of Tessy and the team, and they'll be here soon. But coming up next is well, let's just go to the intro. So happy to have with us today two Greek American brothers who have gone on to write and produce some of my favorite shows: Netflix original Blood of Zeus, anime Death Note on Netflix, and feature film Immortals with Henry Cavill and Mickey Rourke. From Asia Minor Pictures, let's all welcome Vlas and Charlie Parlapanides. Okay, I guess I got to add you. I practiced, and I practiced this, guys, and I still messed it up.
No, you didn't. You did a great job. Thanks for having us. How are you? Good to see you guys.
Great to see you guys.
Great to see you. Thank you so much for joining us again this year. You've been you guys just been so thoughtful and helpful, and in raising money for the Greek school program. We appreciate it so much.
It's our pleasure, Bob. You know, and it's great the work that you do to promote Hellenism and our culture. And I just wanted to say, I saw that little clip about Patra. You know, our family is originally from Smyrna, but after the Turks chased them out when they burned Smyrna in 1922, they ended up in Patra. And our parents were married. The church they were standing in front is the new St. Andrews. They were married in the old St. Andrews, which is right next to it. And whenever we go to Patra, we always go visit, and they have the cell that St. Andrew lived in next to the old church. That's why they built it there. So you can go down there and basically stand in the footsteps of one of the apostles. And we love that church for a million reasons. So it was a nice way to kind of start this off, to see that little video. And that's where our parents got married. And our mom told us the story of, like, when she was in school in Greece and they were returning St. Andrew's relics, his head is there in the church. She said everyone was going crazy and they were so excited. And so it was a very fitting start to this show to see that.
Well, thank you. You know, it was fun. It was fun getting people from Greece to come on and to kind of say how much they appreciate what we do here, because it's important, and you guys take it to a whole new level, because you don't shy away from your Hellenism, from being Greek or anything like that. It shows in the television shows and the movies that you write and produce, and it shows in. I mean, you can pick it up within the characters themselves. So, that's to me, that's just amazing.
Well, Spielberg talks about it. Every film that he makes, there's part of him that's in that film and or that show. Mostly the films that he makes, because he has more control over those than some of the shows he produces. But I feel that it's true. We're very proud to be Greek. We're very proud of our Greek heritage, and it's and very proud of our roots and where we grew up from, a very small town. And so a lot of those things are reflected in our shows, because those are the things that we value, those are things that we adore, and those are the things that we feel are it's important to share some of those those ideas, and to kind of depict characters that have if not a similar upbringing, one that they can relate to, because it's a very relatable upbringing, coming from meager beginnings and really working hard and emphasizing education and our faith, and it's all part of who we are. And the best examples of that were our parents growing up. And our father he was, one of the founders of our church back home, and we took pride. He took pride in his Hellenism, and he believed in the faith. And when you bring a church into fruition, it's the gift that keeps giving. So it can be a place where people can go and they can pray, they can find strength, they can renew their strength. And if they're experiencing adversity, it's a place they can go and they can hopefully find some peace.
And two, we're talking about Greek school, and like we went to Greek school at our church. The church is the hub of everything. You go to Greek school there, you do Greek dancing, you go there on Sundays, you go there for your faith, you go there for basketball and volleyball. I mean, so we're very, thankful and grateful for this amazing cultural inheritance. It's a plethora of riches, to be Greek and to learn Greek and to learn about our culture and our faith. And so we always say some of these stories we write in the mythological and Greek mythology space, they're not our stories, they're Greece's stories. And they're some of the first stories the Western world knew. And we're very proud to be able to claim that we're a part of that heritage, that, that our bloodline traces back to that. So we thank God every day we were born Greek. I know it maybe sounds a little big fat Greek wedding-ish, but thank God, like we are so blessed. We couldn't ask for a better culture.
You're in the right space for that kind of attitude, that's for sure. But yeah, that's what I was going to ask you. You both went through Greek school growing up, so you kind of see the importance of it. And is this? I know you both have young children. Are you teaching them Greek? Are you planning on putting them through a Greek school program as well?
Well, you have experience right there, bro. I think, Charlie's daughter is going to Greek school right now. She's learning to speak Greek, and she's learning the language, and she's learning to read. And, you can talk to that. She has a great teacher.
Yeah, Nick. Well, what we'll say is that, we grew up, our mom actually was the Greek school teacher initially at our church. She was a teacher in Greece before she got married. I was a little bit luckier because by the time it came time for me to go to Greek school, I was the fourth, I was the youngest. I think my parents were getting worn out. My mom had stopped teaching Greek school, and she was working more full time. So I only went for like 2 years, and then I was out. And I regret that. Obviously, I still speak Greek, and we ended up learning. But yeah, we definitely grew up. That was part of it. And even though as kids, we would come from school and then have to go to another school, like that just didn't seem fair. We had to go to Greek school after we already had been to school and our friends were going to play. But it was great that we did, and we're glad that we did go because it's such a gift to be able to, speak the language and learn the language. And as Vlas mentioned, our daughter started off going to Greek school here at our church here in Long Beach. Then that kind of got shut down by COVID, but now we have an amazing Greek school tutor, Nikki from St. Basil's, who's amazing. And she's just because not only is our daughter learning Greek, but Nikki, teaches her because Nikki's from Greece. She teaches her about the Greek culture and about our faith. And it's just like a great role model. So like, that's been great. And we consider that a blessing.
And as Charlie said, your mother was the Greek school teacher, and we weren't the best students. I went with my sister, and that's sad but true. But and it is. Listen, let's be honest. Like as Charlie mentioned, it's more school, and when you're young, it's not something that you look forward to doing. And there were days where we didn't want to go, but our parents made us go, and I just thank them for doing that, for making us go, because it was an experience that, looking back on it now, was a very valuable one. As Charlie mentioned, it's very helpful to learn the language. When you go to Greece, you get more out of that country. And I'm so glad that we did go to Greek school, because I was able to read and write. And that was something that I found to be very enriching. Even though at that time I loathed going, I'm glad that I did. My parents made us go, and I'm glad that I learned. And I think it's important, and we're going to make our kids now. They're going to go when they get to that right age, whether they like it or not, because we feel it's important. And in the long run, it is something that we know they will value, and it's something that will benefit them in the long term.
It's too bad there aren't any immersion programs. There's so much cooking going on here right now that is crazy. I wish you guys were here, because there's some of the best portakalopita you will ever have.
Oh, yeah. That was my breakfast.
It's crazy. But
Bob, there's one immersion school, but it's all the way in Miami. And actually, my wife's cousin married just a great Greek, a Greek who makes you proud to be Greek, Aleko Charalambidis, and his father started a school in Miami where it's taught in Greek. And I'm amazed because a majority of the kids aren't even Greek, but they learn Greek, and their test scores are through the roof. So there is intrinsic value to learning Greek. Even their math scores are better. Now, maybe it's just a really good school because we take so much pride in anything we call our own. But I wish there was more of that here on the West Coast.
Yeah, I'd say Aurora went through a Spanish immersion program, so she learned Spanish before
from kindergarten all the way to senior year of high school. So
That's great.
Spanish AP literature, the whole shebang. Yeah.
So she was learning math in Spanish.
Yeah, and history and science, all in Spanish. Yeah.
Yeah. So I always my kids are older now, so I start things from Yankees one day. But that's the sort of thing I envision every day. We do have, a
know his method, but it's all based on the Greek language, and I think it would only, help people that much more, if we had something like that. But who knows?
Aurora, did you enjoy learning Spanish when you were a kid too? I mean, it's probably easier. That's great.
Yeah, my dad said that when I first came home from school on the first day, I was like crying and I was like, I don't know what my teacher is saying. I don't know what she's wanting.
Yeah, that was for us too. Yeah.
But that was like the only time that I struggled. And then, a few months in, I knew everything. I understood everything. And I'm so happy that I did it. Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah. Best thing.
That's so cool.
Did, when you guys go through the creative process, and so much of it is leaning into your Greekness, which is, like I said, this is why you make some of the movies that I love the most. I always want to be a wall in the writer's room when you guys are writing this stuff. How does that, are you consciously making decisions based on that, or is this just something subconsciously that just happens when you're writing?
Well, you would be bored to death if you were on the wall. Fly on the wall. It's like watching paint dry. But I think Charlie says it, and you're only as good as the idea that you write about. So it starts with an idea, and then it really comes down to, and we've embraced what Sorkin said, finding out what our characters want. We spend a lot of time doing that. And then, as he said, and I think he's spot on about this, how your characters go about getting what they want defines who they are. And so once you do the heavy lifting of really understanding who your characters are, then really truly understanding what they want, and it obviously all stems from an idea that has brought the story, I think brought the story into fruition, then it almost becomes, at times, not always, but it writes itself, because this character wants this, and then that character wants that, and there's the conflict, and they're, facing adversity, and it kind of unfolds. It really, really helps that there's two of us, there's two minds, trying to break story. There's two minds trying to, figure out a problem that arises, and we just bounce things off of each other, and sometimes Charlie has an idea, and then I have an idea that spurs another idea, and sometimes there are no ideas. The inspiration, some people have asked us, like, well, what inspires you? Do you just write when you're inspired? And I always tell them, a big mortgage is inspiration. You have to get and you have to write, but we are very blessed to be in a field that we love and that we enjoy doing. And, it's different, I think, also too, from project to project, and it's different, with character to character. When we're writing season 3 now, and we hit kind of like a wall of sorts, but we just kind of chip away at it. Again, there's two of us that are, working at it, and we, so far, knock on wood, have been have always managed to find our way, past a problem, or we're able to work something out. So, what do you think, bro? What would you say?
I agree with you that it's probably not that interesting, because a lot of writing, it's very much an iceberg. What you end up seeing is only a small percentage of all the bad ideas we also work through and talk through. And like Vlas said, half the time you're just like, you're like a blindfolded person trying to just find their way forward. But then once you hit the path you're supposed to find, then it starts. That's when that's it, because then everything starts to unlock. Everything starts to just flow. So we just sit and we spitball and we talk through ideas. And then when you do come upon that right idea, it has a certain amount of life. And so, listen, thank God, we've been very blessed. Couldn't be, happier with how season 2 has come together in terms of the scripts. We love season 3. The first 6-7 episodes are fantastic, and now it's just kind of landing the ending. And for us, and it's something we've learned from our parents, it's very much that immigrant mentality. Nothing replaces hard work. People, that when they talk about writing, Vlas said, do you need to be inspired? Writing is very much a blue-collar profession. And Oliver Stone used to say that writing is butt plus seat. And that's what equals writing, because you just have to sit down and do it. And then you just keep doing it. And you write some good stuff, you write some bad stuff, and you chip away what doesn't work and you keep what does. And that's the process.
Bob, there's one thing I have to share with you guys, though. I remember when, we first were starting out, and that's when I'd resigned from Oppenheimer. I was on Oppenheimer's foreign equity desk, on Wall Street. And I remember, I was sitting there and I was trying to write, and I was just thinking of different ideas and just different characters. And I would be thinking about it, when I was in the shower. But then when it came to writing, I would write just like a paragraph. I'm like, this is insane. Like, what was I thinking? Why did I think I could do this? This is like the worst decision I've ever made. This is horrible. And then there used to be this magazine called Scenario back in the day, and they would interview different screenwriters, and they had interviewed Ernst Lehman, and he was one of my favorite. He wrote North by Northwest, and he was just, an Academy nominated, and maybe even won the Academy Award. I don't recall. But he talked about the writing process, and he said there's some times where you don't even write anything. You're just thinking about things, thinking about the characters, thinking about what they want, thinking about who they are. But that is writing. And so it's not like you have to write 5 pages, 10 pages, 3 pages. Part of the process is thinking about it. And so there was a huge relief, because I was like, oh, kind of what he was doing. He said, like, I'd be thinking in the shower, I'd be thinking on the way to work. And it was very similar to my thought process. So that just brought so much relief. Like, oh, I don't have to necessarily write, 10 pages, 5 pages, 3 pages, whatever it is, but I'm still writing. That's still part of the process. And, David O. Russell does that. He just always thinks. He'll spend like a month, 2 months, 3 months, just thinking. And then finally, when it comes to writing, he'll sit down and he'll write all of it, of the screenplay. And so it's also too, bro, wasn't it that chairman back in Warner's back in the day, when he was like, would walk by the writer's room, and if he didn't hear like someone, on a typewriter, he's like, what are these lazy writers doing? They're just lounging out on the couch. But that is part of the process. Not that we're lounging out on couches. We're always like jotting down notes. But sometimes I'm just walking and thinking, and I'll, when an idea comes, or a piece of dialogue or something, I'll dictate it, in my cell phone. And then it comes down to the time when you're sitting there and you're, putting pen to paper.
The long and short of it is figuring out the stories just as much as writing as actually typing. I forget who said it, but they said, writing is cracking the story. The rest is stenography. Like, the rest is like, it's that's the easy part, getting it on paper. The hard part's figuring it out. And then,
so true. So true.
You know what? The only thing I know about a writer's room is what I learned on the Dick Van Dyke Show. Because they had it was just so funny, and so I always imagine, oh, that must be what it to be like. It must be to be in a writer's room, and so you guys are giving me a cold wake up call.
But But we would tell all the kids out there, just to get back to the Greek school, go to Greek school. It's a great thing for you to do. It's something that you will appreciate and value as you get older, not only in their lives, but they'll recognize how much or how important it is, and they'll want their kids to be able to read and write and to speak the language. And I think it's a beautiful thing. It takes a little more effort, but it's well worth it, in my opinion. I would encourage everyone that has children to encourage them to learn the language, and for those kids that are listening, to go to Greek school. It's a good thing, and they'll be very happy that they did it.
And even just for the two very most practical reasons. One, it was always great that we could speak another language amongst our American friends, and and they wouldn't know what you're saying. That was always a great little.
That's a good one.
One of my roommates in college was Greek, and so we would do that all the time. That was always a big plus. And then we come from the most beautiful country in the world. Like, so when you go back to Greece, it's great to be able to speak the language. It's great to be able to interact with your fellow countrymen. And so it's just worthwhile. I know it's not always easy, and when you're young, you might not want to do it, but you will regret it if you don't. So,
and I'll even add to that. Sorry.
No, go ahead.
Sorry, I jumped on you there. I jumped on your lines there, bro.
No, go ahead.
No, but I was going to say, in addition to Greek, I took Spanish in high school, and I regret not continuing, to learn Spanish. So that was another thing. I think that when you learn as many languages as you can, it's an enriching experience. And it was, again, I wish I just kept up with my Spanish. I think that would have made going, to Spain or wherever that much more of an enriching trip, and you get more out of the country. And it's just something that I just wish I had done when I was younger.
Well, you're absolutely right. Learning as many languages as you can. And when you run across people, and we have people in our community that can go from English to Greek to Spanish to Italian to, they just kind of weave in and out. And I'm always kind of jealous of them, because that is really cool. So I don't want to keep you guys too much longer, but I did want to ask you about season 2 of Blood of Zeus, because I know if I don't, my kids are going to yell at me, and so
tell us.
And so I don't want you. When is the expected air date to start on that?
And remember, we're live.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, we can't get into the specifics of when it's going to be released, but as Charlie said, and I'm curious to see what Charlie has to say. But in terms of the episodes and where the story has gone, it's so cool. I think people are really going to be surprised, but they're also, when you look back on it, it's like, oh yeah, I see why it went there. Mm-hmm. And we're so proud of how the story came together. So we're super excited.
We don't, that's a Netflix question. They set the schedule, they set the dates. We don't even know. So we can't even, but
sadly, and a lot of people are asking.
Yeah. I bet.
Like Vlas said, we couldn't be prouder of the scripts and of the story. And I think, episode 203, maybe the best episode of the show, and 208, those are the ones that I can't wait to see. So the 3rd and 8th episodes of season 2, like every time, I just couldn't be prouder of those episodes, and can't wait, for them to get done and for them to be back out in the world again. But we're waiting too. We're wondering too, but we can't wait for season 2 to be out and done and out in the world.
I love the cliffhanger on season 1. I love that. I just love.
Well, then you're gonna love season 2.
Yeah,
season 2. Yeah, you really are, because it really is a springboard to what goes, and it's done in a way where it's going to surprise people, but in a very pleasant way. And
well, good. I don't want to go too into it, because I don't want you guys to accidentally say something, but all I can tell you is that we are very proud of you in this community, to both of you, and we just think you guys are amazing, and you're so supportive. I'm glad you haven't gone Hollywood. That's all I have to say, I guess.
God forbid. God forbid, Bob and Aurora. It's great what you're doing. Thank you for having us on.
You guys do what's valuable.
Yeah, and it's so important. We're just proud to be part of this community. We grew up, on the East Coast in New Jersey, but because we grew up in the church, we grew up in the same community. Even though you guys were all the way over here, we had the same experience, just on different coasts. But it's that Greekness, it's everything that's imbued in our culture and our people, that philotimo. We're very blessed. We just thank God. We thank God to be Greek.
And for those people that don't know much about it, it's what's it about? It's about hard work. It's about accountability. It's about loving each other. It's about acceptance. It's about helping your fellow, man whenever you can. These are the beautiful things that we have, and some of the things that people don't know. And it's something that we always need to kind of, continue to do ourselves, and hopefully pass that along to our children.
Well, you guys are doing a phenomenal job, and you're not only passing it on to your children, but you're passing it on to generations of other children and other people's children as well, through the material you create for the zeitgeist that is, movies and television and all of that. I mean, it's everywhere, and I know I appreciate it, and I do. We all do. But thank you for supporting.
Always a pleasure. Thank you so much, and God bless. And keep up the good work, and thank you for thinking about us and including us.
Well, thank you. All right, guys. Bye-bye.
Hi to everyone.
Bye.
God, we're always so lucky when they come on the show. They're such wonderful people to have on, and we're lucky to be part of a community that has such a diverse skill set of people, and that we've got everything from restaurant owners to engineers to financial people to people that work in the filmmaking industry. So there's just a lot going on in this community. We're waiting for our next guest to come on, but I thought maybe while we wait for them, I wonder what the food's looking like.
I know.
Do you want to see?
I'm wondering what it's tasting like.
Hey, George, do you want to show us some of the food you're creating? Let's see if I can get this camera here. Get the second camera lined up. George, do you want to go see if, let's see if I can get some of the food here on the table and take a look at what George has been creating for us, because that guy has been cooking for 2 days now. I mean, pretty solid 2 days, and just been incredible to kind of watch him go at it. I'm going to see if I can get another camera going. Well, that's a camera, all right. And let's see if we can get some food in here to show you guys some of the things that we're cooking. Oh, what is that? Oh my God. Oh, look at that. Wow. That's portocalopita. Let's see. I haven't done this before. Let's add another camera to the stream. Look at that.
Oh,
wow. Good. Yeah, folks, that's portocalopita. We're not really doing all the traditional dishes, although we're not having bacalao today, although normally you would have bacalao celebrating Greek Independence Day, and you would have scordalia, which is the garlic potato, mashed potato garlic sort of thing that you can then use as a dip. But we do have portocalopita, which is pretty amazing. I don't think we need this. I think we'd see it just fine.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. But it's kind of fun to do this because hey, at the bottom you can see how you can contribute. So if you'd like to contribute, let's see, we've got a comment here. Panayoti, thank you, Panayotis, and Panayotis is part of Grecopaths, and also if you're from, we've done shows with the group from Grecopaths. They're near Nafplion, And they're going to have their first Greek festival this year, and you can kind of see some of that. Oh, what do we have here now? Halva.
Oh, that smells really
Oh
good.
my gosh, that is really good too. So if you like contribute, donate, you see everything just at the bottom there. So please donate to the St. Basil's Greek Orthodox Greek School Program. Oh yeah, that's something you should put out. Yeah, here, let's here, do that again, because put that on Instagram. Hey, share this with your friends. If you're watching, share this with your friends. Let's see if we can get people to come on the show and start contributing to the Greek School Program, because if you love Greece, if you like having continuing the Greek language, the Greek culture, things like that, the way you do it is through Greek school programs, and we're so happy to be able to participate in at St. Basil's and help them along with their Greek school program. Let's see. I'm going to send a little text just as a, okay, so we lost one of our guests, but at 2 o'clock we do have we do have some guests coming on at 2 o'clock as well at the top of the hour. But right now we're
try not to eat
I know
this.
we're gonna try really hard not to eat this. Is is George cooking anything that we can go over there and see? So we've got let's see, we have all kinds of food that's being prepared right now, and it's just so much fun to do this. We have our flag in the background. We have flags decorating the front of the house. So I'm sure we'll get.
Yes.
He wants
is cooking.
He is.
Yes.
Want to show some things that he's cooking? Maybe we can do a remote. Yeah. Here, why don't you put that away, and then you can take the remote and got to go with it. And let's see here. Okay. Let me see. Let me get the set up. And we'll do a remote in the kitchen and see what George is cooking, because that's always fun. Just having people from Greece that understand all the traditions and the nuances is just so wonderful. And having them come here and help me is even more wonderful. So can't tell you how much I appreciate that. Let's see here. Let's see if this will work.
If only we had smeller vision. Oh.
I know. What is that? Oh, it's my camera. Yeah, we can remove that. Allow mobile. I think we can. Yeah, go to Vector Studio. Where's the camera flip? Cam. Settings. Camera. Back. There we go. And I think we are set with that. There we go. And I think if you hold it like that, yeah, I can see you. So can you see it?
Yeah.
Okay. And I'll put myself on mute so you guys can talk.
For the pastichio. We have 4 trays of pastichio.
Ooh, it smells good.
And now we're ready for the final step. We have added butter and oil, vegetable oil. It's about an ounce.
An ounce.
ounce, ounce and a half, and we used 2 full spoons for each tray of the flour. And we have the milk here on the side to be warm.
Mm-hmm.
So let's
And what do we got over here?
it's the lentils, fakes.
I tried some this morning. It's really, really good.
This is a bay leaf.
Mm-hmm.
It also has carrots, tomato, and lots of spices.
Very delicious.
So now we are trying to, because when you add flour for a sauce, it has a weird taste.
Mm-hmm.
So we fry. Actually, we are frying the flour.
I see.
You see that it is changing color. It becomes a little,
Like whiter.
yeah.
So does it become thick?
No, because it's only with the butter.
Oh,
When we will add the milk, it will become thick. We want a creamy sauce to cover the pastichio. Time for salt. One. Nutmeg. It's a secret ingredient.
oh, that's what makes it taste so good.
Allspice. And a dash of cinnamon. Just a dash. So we are almost ready here for the next step that it's technically more difficult.
Uh-oh.
Because what we do, we add the milk and we need to stir it so it will become creamy without, being crumbled.
Yeah.
Keep stirring. And add milk.
You
What?
said, are you making staka?
No. Who said that?
He did.
See, that's the. We need to avoid.
Like getting all.
Yeah.
Oh, I see. This is a workout.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's getting nice and creamy.
Milk. we want it to be creamy, not very thick,
Mhm.
because we want it to spread over the pastichio. I think that's good, and let's go for the final steps.
Okay.
Here, I'll be back.
Okay. Look at this. Okay, final steps.
Final steps is, because we're gonna put it in the oven,
Mm-hmm.
so it doesn't matter if we turn off the heat and add one. So make sure we take the bread out. Yeah. Two eggs.
2 eggs.
Yeah. Let me get the bread out.
This kitchen is filled with food. Oh, it smells so good in here. Oh, look at that bread.
And we are almost ready. Like that. And maybe we should use a different technique.
Okay. Oh, yeah.
And then
So do you want like a thinner layer?
it depends. We're trying to have about a finger. I don't know, it's half an inch. You know, in Europe, we are using the metric system, so it's about a centimeter.
Okay. Oh, I cannot wait to eat this.
So first of all, we spread it all over. The reason we want it to be creamy is because it's getting thick very fast.
Mm.
In about a minute, it will be difficult to work with it.
Oh, wow. Very fast.
So that's the reason why you keep the bechamel for the end of the whole process,
Mm-hmm.
because you cannot prepare it and leave it outside because it gets thicker. I think that we're almost done. Sorry for the outfit, guys. Final touch.
Ooh.
Cheese. The tip is that we had it in the freezer.
Okay.
Why? Because the cheese is oil, it's fat. So if you leave it outside, it will start melting.
Okay.
So just put it at the freezer, and it's easy for us to spread it.
Oh yeah.
Ready to go. The oven is ready.
So the oven's at 350.
350. And 1. And 2.
Beautiful.
And we're ready to rock and roll.
How long do we keep that in there for?
Set alarm for 20 minutes.
Okay.
And we check it in 20 minutes. Should be a light brown at the top
Mm-hmm.
because of the egg.
Ah, yeah.
So we check it and we see if the cheese has been melted and crispy and it's ready, because everything is already cooked.
Yeah.
We
Just the
could-
topping.
We could, even the top is cooked.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's true. That's true.
So it's only just to assemble and mix the taste and the flavors.
Oh,
That's all.
I'm so excited. This is like one of my favorite dishes.
All right. So see you next time.
Yes.
Thank you.
Wow, how about that? Oh yeah, put the blood back in.
Oh, turn the mute it.
Or just turn it off completely.
Or, yeah.
Sorry about that, guys.
I'm obviously not good at this, but that's okay.
I'm
We're
just
learning
surprised
technology.
that you know this is cool because it kept it from like cycling back to you. So anyway, here's me. I need more. I don't know. Do you have any tziparo?
We do. Want me to go grab you some?
I think I see it right there.
Yep, there's still some in there. It looks like.
I think we may need some tziparo.
Oh, yeah.
So this is the nice part about all this is that, yeah, see if we've got something. Put the coffee away. I think we put the coffee away now. But I do want to talk to you guys about contributing. So I'm going to put this up. Also, what I'll do is there's a barcode that is over here right now. If you use your phone's camera to scan that barcode, it'll take you to a Google page, and from there you'll be able to contribute. If you're watching on on YouTube or Facebook. It's in the description section where you can hit a link and you can contribute as well. But just over to the other side of my lovely co-host's face is that barcode right there. Oh, okay. There it is, the barcode. So go ahead and use your phone to take a picture of it. And wow, look at that. Little Tzoytzoyrakos. Nice. Oh. You know, this is what we needed, just a little Tzoytzoyrakos here, right there. You know, when we started the show, you weren't allowed to drink.
I know, now I'm 21.
Now you're 21? Woo! Now you can drink.
Mm-hmm.
There you go. Unlike in Greece, where
it was okay.
Drink if you want.
Yeah, I had some really great wine there. That homemade wine was that was so cool.
That was. And you know, we have this amazing guest coming on soon, and it's Dr. Elias Petru from Cyprus.
Ooh.
And he's part of something that I think is pretty amazing. I'm going to just add it to the stream. And I'm going to let him talk about it. But this has been going on since the 1980s. So when I started my first job, it was in computer science. It was in Anaheim. And I remember my mom giving me a clipping from a newspaper about this program, which he's going to share with us and talk about. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce Dr. Elias Petru.
Hello, guys. How are you?
We're fine. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me. Χρόνια πολλά.
Χρόνια πολλά, yeah. And how does that, because you're from Cyprus, right?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And how does that work out in Cyprus? Do they celebrate Greek Independence Day as well? Or because they have their own Independence Day, don't they?
That's true. But we are lucky that we have two of them. We have the Cypriot one and the Greek one. We celebrate it with parades doing at school. And I mean, we feel as part of the Greek communities and let's say the Greek nation. We are Greek Cypriots, so we are very proud for that day. And actually, during the revolution 1821, we did our struggle too to unify with the motherland. However, we didn't manage, but we still feel Greeks. We study Greek language, we still do everything, and we are as Greek as everyone.
Of course you are. And you know, I'm sorry you're not here because there's two Cypriots that are going to be playing music for us today.
Oh, yeah, we are everywhere, huh?
Yeah, so it's going to be a lot of fun. I think it'll be more classic rock than anything Cypriot or Greek, but they do have this one song. So that I'll, when they sing it, it's kind of it's almost how they lament Cyprus.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So I know it's a beautiful song, isn't it? So. Although when you look at them, you think, wow, you know, these guys seem more like they're like a hard rock band or something like that. But then they do this very soulful song. Enough about them.
Yeah, sorry.
We're going to talk about them later. But this is, but what I loved was because we do have quite a few people from Cyprus on the show, and so we're glad that you're joining the cast of people that come on the show. We love that.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, guys.
So, you know, this is a fundraiser for the Greek school program.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe you can tell me how you got involved because you are an instructor for the program.
That's true. I mean, actually, except my work at UCI, working at Greek language and Greek literature projects, I am teaching at St. Basil's Greek Orthodox Church, Greek language and culture, but also I'm teaching the Greek language and culture at UCLA. So, I mean, the thing is that coming from Europe after finishing my PhD in Austria and doing about medieval Greek history and language, I have to be honest, coming here, I realized how important it is to spread the word, spread the knowledge, spread the language among not only the Greek community, but also people who are interested to learn more about Greeks, about the Greek history, about Greek mythology, about so many things. So I think it was during the Greek exams in 2018, at UCI when many schools came there to give the exams, many kids, many students. And I came in contact with many instructors there, teachers like Tessy from San Juan Capistrano, like Maria Paulson from Redondo Beach, and I mean, many members of the Greek community. So I got the opportunity. I said to them, guys, I'm all hands on deck. I can help you. So during the mornings, I'm working at the university, and during the afternoons, I'm teaching Greek. So this is it.
That's beautiful. Well said and well done, my friend. Well done. I want to talk to you about, well, because you're not only, is it recently there is, you became involved with UCLA as well, right?
True.
What do you do at UCLA?
I mean, I think like as every Greek, we are wearing many hats. So we have to adjust to all the situations, all the, I mean, the new, let's say, standards that are coming up. So actually, although I'm hired by the University of California in general, the two institutions, talking about Irvine and Los Angeles, UCI and UCLA, decided to share me. Let's split my time. So on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, I'm at UCLA teaching Greek, the class 8B at the elementary students. Mostly has to do about the continuation of a class that was happening the previous term. Now I'm teaching the winter term, and we just finished with the finals. And during Tuesdays and Thursdays, I'm working at UCI doing research about the Greek literature, Greek words, Greek books, and that's my weekdays actually.
No, that's amazing. I want to, I've been fascinated with this program that you're part of at UCI because I remember 1985 is when I was first made aware of it. And it was, my mom took a clipping out of a newspaper and she shared it with me. And I remember I had just started working in Anaheim and just seeing that. And I worked for a company that built it was a computer-aided graphic design company. So we built hardware for that space, and some of our hardware had been donated to the program. And I think it was early color printers. This is before they were inkjet or laser, and these were thermal printers, but we had donated the program. And I was so proud that my company, I was proud and I was confused because the person who started the program, I think had German ancestry, right? I can't remember his name. Boomer, it's start with a B.
Ted Brunner.
Brunner, yeah,
Ted Brunner.
Yeah, it's wow, man. I was so close on that name too. You know what it is? It's the Tsiparu.
That's the best part.
It's the Tsiparu. And I'm sorry you're not here because you should come over with your wife and newborn baby.
I hope next year we'll be there, guys, and drink with you. Thank you so much.
Well, keep Easter open for Pascha.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. Come down for Pascha. So that program. I just found it so fascinating because, and correct me if I'm wrong or right on this, but it seemed, and this is back in the 80s when, the biggest hard drive you could buy was like 20 megabytes. I think my company was building them back then. It was the size of a pizza box. And they were cataloging every Greek word that was discovered on every piece of pottery, every shred of papyrus, every shred of clay throughout the world, and organizing, cataloging it, where it was found, how it was found, what the words were on it, and then and obviously dating them, and then cross-referencing them with other finds.
That's so true.
Yeah, it just, wow, that was such an early thing to be doing with computer systems, because before that, it was, you were treating it like a library and their index cards.
I mean, allow me just to, sorry to interrupt you, Bob, allow me just to say that it was a nightmare before that. I mean, technology is changing everything, and it helped the Greek language so much. And the story of all this project goes back probably 1 century, and the end of the 20th century, when in Munich, at the University of Munich, various philologists, mostly doing about Greek language and Latin, they gathered and decided, guys, something, we have to make a dictionary. We have to make a modern dictionary for that time that is going to include all the words of all the classical languages. So the two classical languages were Latin and Greek. The thing is that they decided probably it's better to start with the Latin because they have less words than the Greek. So they believed that the Latin language by the end of the 20th century had approximately 6 to 7 million words, and the Greek language was having probably 75 to 80 million words.
Wow.
So we're talking about a huge size. The thing is that they decided, okay, we have to gather this. Let's start with the Latin words, with the 6 million. We're going to meet in 10 years to decide what's going to happen. So by the beginning of the 20th century, probably 1902, if I'm right, in Munich, they're gathering all together again, and they've realized that even the Latin language is so difficult to be stored, to make a dictionary out of it. Even today, that dictionaries keep being constructed, and just in letter N, I think they still have so much work to do. They believe that they're going to finish it in 20 or 30 years. So at the end of the 19th century, they realized that, something, the Greek language is impossible to be cataloged. It's impossible to make a dictionary for the Greek languages because it's a living language. It's keeping evolving. It's keeping enriched all the time. So even today, we are learning, especially during COVID, we have the new verb zoomaro, which means I'm doing Zoom. So you can see that zoomaro, it means actually, if it has a different meaning, it's enriching the Greek language. So you can imagine that the Greek language keep growing. So by 1972, actually, they came with this idea. It was Ted Brunner at that time and MacDonald, a PhD candidate. She was writing about a PhD about Euripides during that time. And they decided, something? The computers are a rising technology that are coming into our lives. What about if we can teach a computer to recognize Greek, to read Greek, and it can do it in a faster pace? And during that time, part of the program was David Packard. David Packard is the P in the HP computers that we need, Hewlett Packard. Mm-hmm. So David Packard was, he's still a classical philologist, and he said, okay, we have this idea, let's not gather all the words, let's teach the computer, then let's teach our softwares how to read the Greek language. So during the 70s and going to 80s, they teach their computers to read actually beta code, not actually the words as you see them. We have to transform the Greek alphabet to Latin alphabet with specific characters because we are talking about ancient Greek. They have smooth, rough breathings, circumflexes, all these details. And all this process was happening since 1980s, and they started putting this onto these, as you described, big computers. Our Ibigus, as we said, the first processor, was covering the whole basement of the today law school in UCI, and it was fully AC covered and was manufactured all the time. And if you want just to add a word, you have to spend a whole day. It was a huge mess. But technology was advancing, and we have done many stuff since then.
That's amazing. And that's really when I was informed about it, was in the context of Hewlett Packard, because that was our competitor at the time. Mm-hmm. So they, but I just found it just so fascinating that that really what you and your team had been creating, and you're part of this legacy, this line, is what it's really Google for the ancient world. Mm-hmm. It is. It's just amazing what they've done. And when you work on something like that, the fact that you know and speak and read modern Greek, that's not all that helpful. Because you're really digging into characters and language and the way sentences are formed. And I think, was there a time when Greek was not only left to right, but left to right to left to right to left to right, like a snake?
Right? Like ox.
So you were reading, which I think was probably easier on the eyes. I guess, if you're just going, you're not like a typewriter going back every time.
That's true. I mean, that type was actually if you want to go even to another type of writing, you come to Disco Festus in Knossos in Creta. and you can see that they're making a spiral. So you start from the middle and you're going out, and you don't have to go like this. You just following your eyes. I mean, the way of writing it's all about you. It's creativity. Just whatever makes you feel better to write it, write it. It's nobody will say to you anything. Yes, we have some rules. That will be better if you follow them. But still, we're coming up with epigrams and with inscriptions and with details on margins of manuscripts, which they have all this imaginary and this amazingly, let's say, creative way of writing. And it shows actually the psychology and the philosophy of the ancient people, ancient medieval people, how people were evolving, how they were thinking, the difference from today, and how they express themselves through writing. So yeah, it's a fascinating project.
Yeah, I've when there was a change in Greek, I think about 50 or 60 years ago, where they kind of modernized the alphabet and the structure of sentences and all that, because I know it confused my mom and dad when that happened.
I mean, that changes. I mean, not only this, that was probably with the less significant changes in the Greek language. The Greek language passes through significant changes, for example, in the 9th century. I mean, we're talking about 11 centuries ago, which imagine that until that time, everyone was writing in capital letters, in majuscule. Nobody was writing the small letters.
So they were like yelling at each other.
Exactly. Yeah, just keep yelling and no space. No spaces.
Oh my God.
Everything was in the same. And actually they realized, guys, we have to save some money. We have to make some economy here. In order to write the Iliad or the Odyssey, the huge Homer's works, you needed a huge amount of papyri or a huge amount of parchment that time to write all the 24 rhapsodies. So they realized, okay, maybe we should transform our language. So the Greek language transformed into the minuscule. There's much more tiny letters, more compacted. And it was during that time we have the invention of books. Because until that time we have the scrolls, we have the papyri. By that time they realized, okay, I can put some leaves together, cut them at the edges, and I will make like a small quaternium, which is going to be a small book. So the Greek language is evolving according to the needs of the people, according to the needs of the society during that time. And that happened during that time, and it happened also 60 and 70 years ago.
You know, one of the things that you mentioned, books. Books were so expensive back then because they were made out of leather many times. And
yes.
One of the things, and so when I believe a few years ago, a Bible was discovered, and that Bible was written on some sort of leather, not paper, I don't know what you would call it. It's not parchment either, but whatever it was. But but it had been cleaned so the Bible could be written on it. And below it, because I guess the original ink that was used had some sort of metal in it, when I don't think it was an X-ray, but whatever technology that they used to really kind of get to the next level, they found writings from Archimedes.
Yes. You're talking about the Palimpsest of Archimedes. Yeah, the most expensive book in the world.
I'm so glad I have somebody to talk. How come I can't talk to you about this stuff?
Teach me about first.
You know, I have somebody to talk to you about.
Yeah, it's amazing. I mean, the Palimpsest of Archimedes is the most expensive. I think it was sold 4 or 5 years ago to an auction for some $1 million or some million euros. It was amazing because that's a very common strategy using parchment books during times of crisis. And I'm talking whether crisis has to do about religious status, war times. So in order to actually, what you said, Bob, in order to have a book, you have to be a rich guy. In order to have your own private books, actually, you have to spend a lot of money. For example, Arithas, which actually he was one of the previous owners of the Palimpsest of Archimedes. He was owning some other books. At the end, these owners, they are writing down how much they spent to buy this book. In one of these books, which is one of the finest parchments, they're so clean, so beautiful, and so, durable. He's mentioned the amount of approximately, I'm not sure, 24 gold coins, which if you take them today, it costs about 2 apartments in Athens today to buy a book. So you can imagine that you have to spend the material, you have to spend money for the ink, you have to spend money for the calligrapher, and at the end you have to spend money for the binder. We're going to put it together. So about the palimpsest of Archimedes, it's one of the victims, let's say, of times of crisis, along with other books that, when you don't have the parchment and you don't have because of war, so you don't have parchment to come to buy. You cannot buy parchment, or you don't have any cows nearby. It's simple as that, in order to get the parchment. So you go to your library or to go to another, let's say, monastic library, and you find the less usable book, which is going to be mostly made out of parchment. You're going to get it from there, since nobody's using it. You're going to scratch everything from it, so the ink will go away. You flip the page vertically, and then you start writing again on top, the subject you want. So although the old context, the old, let's say, text is there, you are writing your new stuff on top, like Bible, which is going to be more common during that time. Archimedes, nobody knew Archimedes so easily. You have to be educated in order to know the ancient classical authors. So about the palimpsest, they scratch it, they write the Bible, but today through using X-rays and other, I'm not sure if it's X-rays, but other rays, I'm sure some colleagues of mine in Vienna, they are doing this, working with palimpsests from Sinai Monastery in St. Catherine in Egypt. They are founding all these palimpsests, and they're just using the rays, and they can read the text below. And it's very fascinating because you can see what was trending and what was not trending during that time. Bible, everyone goes to church, especially in the Greek Orthodox areas. So you need Bibles, but nobody needs Archimedes. So you can see that they don't have enough, maybe schools during that time. So you can put the historical pieces together, and you can make, let's say, your own timeline.
Well, it just goes to show when there's disruption in trade, things become very expensive.
Yeah.
And, you've seen, the collapse of the Bronze Age because of that. You've seen it during the fall of Constantinople. You've seen it, fall of Rome. It's all, things become very expensive. But one of the things that just fascinated me was people thought that nobody thought that the classical, I don't want to say the ancients, I guess the classical people knew about calculus. But here you have a book where he's describing calculus.
Yeah.
He's describing the use of zero, where you're describing all the things that really make modern mechanical inventions possible. It makes understanding the eclipses of the solar system and of worlds possible. And it wasn't, I think maybe people 100 years ago or 50 years ago thought that this person was a genius. Yes, granted, he was a genius, but he was also able to organize his thoughts in a way that would only be rediscovered again in the 1800s.
Yeah.
And that, to me, is because that's really what caused the Industrial Revolution. Is like you can now build these things. You have formulas. I can't write in formulas, but I know people who can do that.
Yeah.
But once your mind starts thinking about that, and you have a way of expressing it, you have a way of sharing ideas, you have a way of really understanding this. So I'm so happy that exists, that there are people like you that are going through and looking at this information and categorizing it and making it available for the next 1,000 generations of people, really, because it's like it. So I don't think, I was watching something on Crete, and I'm from Crete. Stavroulakis is my proper last name. Stavroulakis. I was watching about on one of my favorite channels. It's called Ancient Greece Revisited. These wonderful guys out of Athens make it, and it's so beautiful. But one of the things that they were talking about was I think the destruction of Crete during the Minoan phase, and the disruption of that Bronze Age society, and how you kind of saw people giving up on their traditions and their religion because they saw these apocalyptic events. So, what does it take to kind of scratch away the history of the people that were 1,200 years before you? in order to write something that, oh my God, my entire world is being destroyed. I need to really dedicate my thoughts into my God. So all of that just completely fascinates me, and I think you're living my fantasy life, to be honest with you.
I mean, it has its ups and downs. It's very fascinating that you are not rediscovering stuff, because I mean that you have to understand that what you talk about palimpsest of Archimedes, or all these formulas and all these that we recently rediscovered. Many of these texts have been destroyed forever. We don't know that we just learn them out of these texts. So I believe that like the Library of Alexandria, or like all these distractions happen throughout the times, and like Minoan civilization or Mycenaean, or etc., etc. So you have to understand that we are just, imagine us like kids searching for puzzle pieces to put them together to just get a glimpse of a corner of a huge mosaic. So we don't know anything actually. The whole Greek literature is so tiny available to the people by now, and we don't know how many more things we can find. And every day you are finding more stuff, and you, oh, look at this, we never thought about that. Or maybe sometimes you have multiple copies of a work that actually existed. And the thing is that you have to go through this historical process, and from the past to coming today, and see that whatever we have today and what we are trying to save today, it's actually was saved by luck, totally by luck, totally by lucky conditions and circumstances. And that's why we are trying to prevent this to happen again. We are trying just to make, let's say, you can call it an ark, you can call it a vault where we can put the Greek treasure, Thesaurus, Linguae Graecea there. So someone will find it later and keep using it and understand that you don't have to start from the scratch. It's almost there. It's already there. So, however, it's very fascinating, but it can become very tedious, because the Greek language, as you know better, guys, it's a huge, it's a beautiful chaos, as they describe it, many philosophers. I mean, you can become a poet from nothing, but you can also cannot even speak at all, although you can say many words. So I have to say that it's an amazing work what we are doing here, and we are going to keep doing it until we are going to cover the whole literature of the Greek classical, medieval, and modern authors. Let's see what will happen.
Well, I love the way you have one foot in the ancient world and one foot in the modern world, right? Yes. And you're teaching modern Greek school, and then you've also, your day job is really going through and understanding and teaching the ancient world. And this is such a wonderful program at UCI that one day I'd love to just go there with a camera and interview all of you.
Sure. You are very welcome. We are looking forward to have you.
Yeah, that's amazing. Or better off have all of you over here, and I'll cook some lamb for you.
It would be great. Thank you.
Unless this generation's gone all vegetarian on me, which is okay, because I eat vegetarian too. But so what did you cook bacalao? Did you cook? What did you guys do this year for
March 25th? I mean, the most common and classical Greek food for me is to do souvlaki. It sounds pretty normal and pretty boring, but it's keeping me connected with the roots. I want to keep this connection with back home. I mean, like almost all the Greeks, I believe, around here, I know. I'm talking with my family twice per day. It's not actually up to me, it's up to them. Because probably you have to, I mean, you know it better than me. The Greek mother is like, if you don't call her for, I don't know, for half days, probably he will think that someone kidnapped you and they're going to sell your organs to the black market, something like that. So yeah, I mean, the roots and the connection with back home is so steady and so deep. And the food is one of the branches of this connection. I am still, let's say, missing the back home, but however, we are here. We are a community here. That's why we are teaching Greek. That's why we are giving back to the community. And hopefully we are, I think, not hopefully, I believe that we have a very strong Greek element and strict Greek tradition around here. So we'll do our best to keep it.
Oh, that's wonderful. Well said, my friend. Well said. And you're doing more than your share of keeping it. So, and there's just to the people watching, if you'd like your children to be involved in the Greek school program in San Juan Capistrano, in that area, this is the quality of education. This is the quality of people that are involved in the program. Is, you know, you're getting instruction from people that you'd pay a fortune at a university to get this kind of instruction, you know, between you and Tessy and others that are there. It's just incredible. And so if you're watching this show, text that telephone number 844-961-3148 and make a donation to the Greek school program. Or use your phone and clip on that video or clip on that barcode over there, the QR code at the bottom left, and support the work that these wonderful people do in teaching children Greek. And if you'd like, you can contact the St. Basil Greek Orthodox Church. The links are in the descriptions, and you can all be part of this. And next year, you'll be part of the poems that are said and the songs that are sung. But for Dr. Elias Petru, we thank you so much for being part of this, and for the dedication you have to the Greek language, Greek culture, and modern Greek as well.
Thank you so much, guys, for the invitation. Thank you so much for your work to spreading the knowledge and the information out there. Keep doing what you are doing. I hope that this Easter, if not this Easter, soon to taste your lamb, Bob and Aurora. Thank you so much, guys. And what should I say? Chronia pola, all the best, and enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you. Thank you. You too.
Have a good one.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
You know what we should do is, for those just joining us, we had a wonderful introduction from Patra. Why don't we play?
Hello everyone, we are currently in Agios Andreas Church in Patras and we are celebrating the National Independence Day of Greece.
Σήμερα γιορτάζουμε την απελευθέρωση της χώρας μας από τους Οθωμανούς Τούρκους και τιμάμε τους ήρωές μας που μας χάρισαν την ελευθερία μας. Παράλληλα γιορτάζουμε τον Ευαγγελισμό του Θεοτόκου, μία από τις μεγαλύτερες γιορτές του χριστιανισμού μας.
Military and school parades take place all over Greece, and afterwards family members gather together to eat the traditional food bakalyaro with skordalia. We are wishing all the best for the Greek community, and we hope you'll raise a lot of money because in times like this, it's very important to keep the Greek spirit alive in all parts of the world. Chronia pola! Greetings from Greece.
I love that. Hey, does anybody else have any video they'd like to share? Please send it our way. We'd love to share that with the community that's out there. No, this has just been wonderful. We just had Elias Petru on the show, who's one of the Greek school instructors from UCI and from UCLA, and our other instructors are professors at USC. So it's pretty, the organization is pretty broad. And we're going to just listen to some of the kids here one more time.
Γεια σας. Είμαστε από το σχολείο του Αγίου Βασιλείου στον San Juan Capistrano της Καλιφόρνιας. Με λένε Ελένη και είμαι περήφανη που είμαι Ελληνίδα γιατί αγαπώ το ελληνικό πολιτισμό και αγαπώ τους Έλληνες για την καλοσύνη και γενναιοδωρία τους.
Γεια σας, με λένε Tzoytzoyrakos και είμαι περήφανος που είμαι Έλληνας γιατί στην Ελλάδα γεννήθηκε η δημοκρατία, το θέατρο, τα μαθηματικά και πολλές άλλες επιστήμες. Επίσης, οι Έλληνες είναι πολύ γενναίος λαός.
Γεια σου, με λένε Κέτι Μόσλι. Είμαι περήφανη που είμαι Ελληνίδα γιατί μου αγαπώ την ελληνική γλώσσα, την ελληνική κουζίνα και τις παραδόσεις μας.
Ονομάζομαι Χαράλαμπος Τρίκας και είμαι περήφανος που είμαι Έλληνας γιατί οι Έλληνες είναι γενναίοι και δείχνουν αλληλεγγύη για τους άλλους.
Γεια σας, με λένε Μόδεστος Καλιδέρης και είμαι πολύ περήφανος για τον ελληνικό πολιτισμό μου γιατί είναι πάρα πολύ πλούσιος. Η πίστη που έμεινε με τους Έλληνες για την χριστιανοσύνη, για τον πολιτισμό τους παρά τα 400 χρόνια σκλαβιάς, με εμπνέει να μαθαίνω περισσότερο για την πατρίδα μου. Είμαι ευλογημένος που είμαι μέρος ενός τόσο σημαντικού και πλούσιου πολιτισμού.
Με λένε Νίκος Κάλενς και σας χαιρετούμε από την Καλιφόρνια.
How about that? You know, so when your kids go to Greek school, this is what you can expect.
Yeah.
Right there. Yeah.
Real fancy talk.
I know, real fancy. Yeah, so if you haven't already, please consider donating to this program. I think it's just wonderful, and I'll put that barcode back up over there. So there's the barcode over there. Just take a picture with your phone. Just go like this, right there, just like that, and you're in. And yeah, so no, this has been great. We really appreciate everybody that's donated to this program, and we are waiting for our next guest. And let's see. I'm gonna see here in a second what's going on with our next guest. Hi, everybody. We start getting people here. So we have the Greek school program has just been a wonderful program for everybody that's gone through it. So we hope that you do as well. You recognize it and you're on as well. Let me just check in with Christina here. Our next guest. She may not have gotten the, let's see here. I'm dealing with so many time zones. I could have just given her the wrong time zone too. Whenever you have people on the show, you're always dealing with different time zones. Let's see if we have something interesting we can share with you guys here. We have it is getting so windy here. It's crazy.
I know.
So we're just waiting on our next guest. Let's see. Hey, Irene, do you want to come here for a second? Since you've been involved in this from the start, why don't you pull up a chair over here and sit with us for a minute?
Thank you.
And until Christina comes on. And this is Irene Bastakis. Oh, and there's Christina.
Oh, good, Christina.
Yeah.
Perfect timing, Christina.
All right. So Irene's been involved with the Greek school program since the inception of the church too. And do you want to say a couple of words about it?
Yeah, first, thank you for doing the fundraiser for the Greek Greek school. We do Greek dance too. And we're happy to be here. And the Greek school program is such an important program at our church. And we welcome everybody to come learn about it. And, thank you very much.
Okay, let's bring on, well said. Let's bring on Christina here. Christina Apostolopoulos. Hi.
Oh, it's been forever.
Yeah, Sue, I know. It's been a long time. How are you guys?
We're good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm doing good. Yeah.
No, we're so happy you could join us.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Now, did you go through a Greek school program growing up?
I didn't, and boy, do I wish I did. I'm actually planning. I'm going to Greece in September for my birthday this year.
Oh, wonderful!
And I'm Greek. I'm half Greek. My last name's Apostolopoulos, which is super Greek, but I don't speak Greek, and I've been doing Rosetta Stone since January for Greek. So I'm slowly trying to learn so that I can at least be somewhat conversational when I go in September. So, and actually I might look into doing it as an adult. So it's something that I wish I did, and all of my cousins did and everything. But once we moved to California, it was, I guess we just moved around too much, but it's a great thing. And, you know, I wish I spoke Greek now.
Well, little did you know that you'd be involved in a program like this over the last couple of years during COVID and the shutdowns and everything.
It's true.
But yeah, it's so are you I know what, well, I should mention that the way we met was I was Googling Greek music, and you had done a song, I think it was Sinephies.
Yeah,
many.
Yeah. Yep.
I just love that. And did you want to tell us where you're? Well, that's how we met, but really you do more contemporary music. You do music that, and I know we had you on when you had released a song last year.
Music videos.
Yeah, your music video was amazing. And where are you playing nowadays?
I'm playing all over the place. So guitar is my main instrument. I'm actually going on a little California tour with a band called the Vista Kicks. I'm going to be playing guitar for them in Sacramento and Los Angeles, and I think San Diego as well, at Belly Up Tavern in San Diego. So if you're around, that's going to be first week of April. I'm playing at Soho in Santa Barbara, which is a great venue. I'm doing my first full band show of my own music on April 19th. So that's really exciting. That's the first one since the shutdown. So it's been a long time since I've played with other people. But I'm trying, I'm playing around for other people and playing my own music in mainly Los Angeles, but all around California as well, and Santa Barbara, which is where I am right now. I'm in my mom's bedroom. Yeah. Oh, I can't hear you.
I'm sorry, that was me.
Okay.
We hope you get. So, would you like to? Do you want to play a song for us? And
Sure. Yeah. I was gonna. How many? Do you think I'll do more than one? Because I do want to do a Greek one eventually, but I don't know if I should.
Why don't you play a couple of songs and do a Greek one and an American one? And
All right. Awesome.
All right.
I'm gonna start with an original song. This is on my first album, and I haven't played it in a long time, so I kind of wanted to play something that I hadn't done. Also, shout out, these are my Yaya's clip-on earrings right here. I have her with me in spirit.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah.
Yep. Okay, here we go.
There's a picture in your mind of something you forgot when you're giving up the guns for a new bad dream. I will be around to put you back to sleep if you ever get around to loving me. I'll show you all the ways love's supposed to be. Kiss you in the morning kiss you in the morning before you leave. If you ever get around, if you ever get around to loving me, I'll show you all the ways love's supposed to be. Kiss you in the morning before you leave. If you ever get around, to loving me. Yay.
No, I'm sorry.
We
we have
so good.
You actually have an audience here.
Oh, cool. Oh, that's
that's watching. But no,
Cool.
it's wonderful.
Oh, I
That's
haven't
wonderful.
heard that one before. That was wow.
Yeah, that's an old one. I wrote that for I was in a songwriting book club, and we read a book, and then we were supposed to write a song inspired by the book. So that was a song that I did inspired by Ernest Hemingway story. Yeah.
Wow.
Oh wow. Oh, I
yeah.
love that. Oh, Hemingway.
Yeah.
Which one? Which story was
Well,
that?
it was a book called The Paris Wife, which is supposed to be it's actually about his life through the perspective of his first wife, and so it's not by him, but it's about him and his life, but the narrator is his wife, and so they are talking about how they met, and he's writing as the sun also rises, I think is what is the time period that the book is about, is when he was writing that book in Spain and beyond. So yeah, it was a great book. I really enjoyed it, and I like As the Sun Also Rises as well, of his that I've read.
I like that book too. That's great.
Yeah.
Wow, I love it. The story behind it. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you want to do a Greek song for us?
Sure. I would
Really? Do you,
Yeah.
is this the only place you ever do Greek songs? Is when you're on the show?
You know, I've actually been playing this particular one a lot, that I'm going to play now. And it's something that I've played before for you guys. But I really like this one. Like I said, I'm learning Greek. So I part of me learning Greek has been learning Greek songs, actually. And it's made me more invested in learning the language conversationally. But this is a song that, you know, the words are pretty accessible, I think, for a somebody who's not totally fluent in Greek too. It's a love song, and it's called "Tin αυτό που το λένε αγάπη," which means "What is this thing called love?"
Τι είναι αυτό που το λένε αγάπη? Τι είναι αυτό? Τι είναι αυτό που κρυφά τις καρδιές σου οδηγεί? Κι όποιος το νιώσε το νοσταλγεί. Τι είναι αυτό που το λένε αγάπη? Τι είναι αυτό? Τι είναι αυτό? Γέλιο, δάκρυα, κατά βροχή της ζωής μας και τέλος και αρχή. Ποτέ κανένα στόμα δεν το βρε και δεν το πέ ακόμα. Τι είναι αυτό που το λένε αγάπη? Τι είναι αυτό? Τι είναι αυτό που σε κάνει να λες το σκοπό? Σ' αγαπώ, σ' αγαπώ, σ' αγαπώ.
you can't see everybody, but there's like entire audience over here.
Oh man, cool.
For you to see that there's all these people over here.
That's great. That's awesome.
Let's
Hi,
see
everyone.
here. What happened to the stream, you guys? Oh no. Oh wait.
Oh,
No,
no.
wait.
No, I think it's like
No, there they are. Let me see.
oh,
if
oh
I can
wow, cool.
There they are. Oh.
Hey everyone.
Thank you.
Good to see you. Nice.
So hey, that was awesome, man. Thank you.
Thank
It's
you
always
so
so nice to hear you sing. So where can people buy your music and all of that?
You can find my music under my name, Christina Apostolopoulos, and I'm on YouTube. My music videos are on there. And on my Instagram, I recently made a short film with my friend Eliana, and I made the music for it. I scored it, and that's going to be up either today or tomorrow on my Instagram. So keep an eye out for that. We can watch the short film. It's like 3.5 minutes long, but we're submitting it to festivals and things like that. So check that out. And yeah, all you need is my super long Greek name. And if you can Google that, you'll find everything else.
Well, I don't think anybody's going to have a problem finding it.
No, this crowd won't have a problem.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much. We've got people coming, so we're going to have to cut everything short today because I have to start cooking. Now,
Yeah,
it's
get to work.
It's my turn to cook because George has been doing pulling more than his own weight. So, but
remember when I cooked with you?
yes,
With
and
you?
you know why you haven't been on the show cooking again, right?
I
'Cause
know.
You pulled me up so badly. It was too embarrassing for
Oh,
me.
is that why? Okay, I see. That makes sense. I made those a few times since. They're great.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because they were like vegan as well.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Loaf cookies. They're great for Christmas time.
Yours the ones you created were so nice compared to the ones I created. Mine tasted okay, but they didn't look as
And I've been practicing since then, so you wouldn't have a chance. Depends on what we're making, though. Maybe we should make something savory together next time.
I think next time we do this, we got to make something that I'm better at. Yeah.
We're just gonna have this ongoing competition.
Exactly.
That I'll just keep losing.
Yeah.
But, hey, Christina, thank you so much. It's getting
Thank
noisy
you,
here,
guys.
so we're gonna let you go. But thank you for the music. Thank you for being on here and helping us raise money.
Thank you. Yes, please donate, everybody, to the Orthodox Church.
Thank you. Thank you.
guys.
Bye.
All right. See you later.
Bye-bye. All right. Hey, guys, I think we're going to cut this short because I have to start making souvlakia. And so we can't thank you enough for joining us. And as always, my lovely co-host, Aurora, thank you so much for being here. And we'll tell you one more time here. There it is. There's the barcode. Take your phone just like this. Go to camera. Hit the camera button. And that's how you donate right there. Just with that. You do it from a long distance too, I checked.
Yeah.
So you don't have to be that close. And, we've here, you guys have the phone numbers are in the link. The link, you can click the links in the description and the chats. And you can get around that way too. We thank all of you for being on the show and or watching the show and helping us in all this. And with that, let's see. I want to make sure I do the right one here. We'll say yes.
Yes,
Yes, us.
Yes, us.